So this one actually states that the dog is not barking. Now, it means that if I want to interpret, not is a negation sign. So this is going to be um, negation R. That's what it's going to be. That's going to be the interpretation of that negation R. Do you get that? The dog is barking is R. The dog is not barking is negation R.
Okay.
hmm Now, the baby is crying and the birds are singing. Birds and is a conjunction. So if I want to interpret this, the baby is crying is P and conjunction. The birds are singing conjunction. Is it the birds or the boys? Okay, conjunction Q. We
But
don't
we,
let this be the boys. 1 second. That statement was a bit incorrect. Let it be the boys instead of the birds. Boys don't like singing. Forget Rema. Boys don't like singing. Uh, okay, so let it be. The baby is crying, and so I have a conjunction there, and I put in that statement. This is the conjunction. So P is the baby's crying, and that's conjunction Q. Birds are singing. Now let's check the other one. It says the dog is barking, or the birds are singing, or that's a disjunction. So I have the dog is barking. That will be R. Disjunction. Disjunction what? Q. That'll be R disjunction Q. Mm, so R disjunction Q. That'll be for the dog is barking or the birds are singing. Then I have if the dog is barking and the birds are not singing, then the baby is crying. If the dog is barking and the birds are not singing, then the
that's
baby is crying.
conditional.
It's conditional, but inside the conditional, we have a conjunction. The dogs are barking
Yes. And
and
the birds are not singing.
birds are not singing. That's negation Q, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be negation Q.
Yes.
Then all these together is under a condition of what? It's under a condition of the baby is crying, which is P. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think the fourth one is going to be?
The baby cries if and only if the dog barks. That means if and only if. That means that's by conditional,
Yes.
or we can say by implication.
Okay, so how
Right?
are we going to interpret that?
That's if and only if the dog. So we are going to do like the then the arrow.
To be P.
Am I correct?
The baby cries P if and only if.
Okay, okay. B stands for the baby.
Yeah, the baby cries, then
That's
if and
B
only
stands
if.
for the baby.
Yeah,
So that's P. That's the arrow.
then R.
The baby called evil. And it-
The dog barks. So were we able to get that? All right. Okay, so now you take this one and you do it yourself. You take this one and you do it yourself. I'm going to give you three statements, or two statements rather, and then you try to interpret those statements. Let us take, okay, let it be this.
Hold on. First, before you give me the exercise to work on,
Yeah.
can you please explain this one again
Oh, okay.
for me?
Which one is it? Is it this that we just did?
Yeah, the one we just did.
All right, so we have three propositions. You can call them statements. We have three propositions. The first is the baby is crying, which is P. The second is the birds are singing, which is Q. And the third is the dog is barking, which is R. And then we have other propositions that involves connectives. The dog is not barking. Not is the word there or the connective there. We have signs for these connectives.
Negation.
Negation R. It's R because R represents the dog is barking. So we just put a statement of the dog is
Okay.
barking as R. So negation R. Then the next one is the baby is crying and the birds are singing. And is a connective there. That's a conjunction. We have a sign for that. The baby is crying, that's P, and that's conjunction Q.
Mhm.
The birds are singing.
Conjunction. Okay.
Mhm. Then we have the dog is barking or the birds are singing,
Dogs.
which is a disjunction. R represents the dog is barking and Q represents the birds are singing.
Okay.
Or is the disjunction there, and that's the sign that we have. Then if the dog is barking,
Hold on.
okay,
Wait. The dog is barking or the birds are singing.
hmm
Which the how they represent the dog is barking.
yeah,
Or okay,
or
I
is it
understand now.
disjunction?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay, then if the dog is barking and the birds are not singing, then the baby is crying. So there we have two statements that are in conjunction with each other. The dog is barking and the birds are not singing. Then, wherever you see the then, that's where you introduce your conditional statements. Then the baby is crying. So that means R is the dog is barking and conjunction Q is the birds are singing. Negation Q is the birds are not singing. That's the negation that we have here. That's the negation we have here. And then then the baby is crying. So we put in our conditional arrow, which is the baby is crying represented by P. That's how we interpreted that. Like that, yeah. Quite simple. Then the baby cries if and only if the dog barks. That's a biconditional statement. The baby cries is P if and only if the dog barks. Dog is barking is R. So P biconditional statement of R. That's how we interpret those statements. Okay, any question
Okay. No, no for now.
for now?
Uh, so you give me the exercise once again.
Oh, okay. All right, so yes, let's interpret this. Mhm. Let S and T stand for, let it stand for S should represent Sally is smart, and T should represent Tom is tall. So tell me, in all of this, mm, how are you going to represent these statements? Sally is not smart. Sally is smart, and Tom is tall. And next statement, uh, if Tom is tall, if Tom is tall and Sally is smart, then Tom is tall. So, how are you going to represent these statements?
You
Okay,
said A stand for what?
S stands for Sally is smart, and T stands for Tom is tall. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
So, how are we going to represent it? Remember your negations. So, remember that.
Okay. So we go like
Yeah.
that means A S with the negation, like the negation sign.
Okay, so we have this to be negation S. Let me zoom this clearly.
Yes.
Okay, so we have negation S. Uh-huh. Yes. Sally is smart and Tom is tall. That is going to be what? We have someone in the class. Montserrat, welcome.
Okay, I can see. I can see. I can see clearly now. Okay.
Okay.
So that means since the Sally is smart, stand for S, and C stands for cornerstone, that means we do negation S. That's for Sally is not smart.
Oh, that's the first one. Yes, Sally is not smart. We've done that. Negation S.
Yes.
Now for the
So
second one. Second
yes, so
statement.
the second one, yes, Sally is smart, and that means S or coming conjunction
Conjunction. Very good. T.
T.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay, so if Tom is tall and Sally is smart, then Tom is tall.
If Tom is tall, if Tom is tall, so we are going to do conditional
Okay, it's going to be conditional.
sign, that conditional sign.
But we have a
T.
conjunction in the conditional.
Yes, I'm coming. It's going to be conditional T and the conjunction sign.
T
Abi,
and the conjunction sign. Uh-huh. Conjunction to what?
S,
To
and
S.
then we now have the conditional sign again.
Okay.
P.
Then we have the conditional sign P. Another conditional sign T. All right, so Montserrat, you might not understand what we're doing, but it's logical reasoning. I think that's the first topic in your MTH course. I see a Montserrat here, so okay, in your MTH course, and the logical reasoning we're talking about is First of all, we talked about propositions. Propositions are statements. Example, Abuja is a town. Another example, Montserrat is a girl or a lady. So, and then we have truth values in our logical reasoning. So for the example I gave, the first proposition I gave, Abuja is a town, is true. The other proposition I gave, Montserrat is a girl, is true as well. I don't know if it's true. Montserrat, are you a girl or are you male or female?
I'm a girl,
Okay, all right. So
male, a female. So
a female. All right, so Montserrat is a female. That is true. Okay, so we represent these various statements with, you know, the truth values, true or false, in logical reasoning. You use it in management science, you use it in business administration, you use logical reasoning in law because you need to know if statements are true, if statements are contradicting one another, or if it's a tautology or, negation of various statements. That's why it's very important to lawyers. Then we had other statements. For example, these statements have connectives. We have statements that have connectives. When I say connectives, I mean things that join, other statements together. Now check this out. This one says 1 plus 1 and is 2 and 4 is less than 9. And is a conjunction. That's where we get to this part here. Okay, that's where we move to the other part. And is a conjunction. And that's the sign for conjunction. Owls are nocturnal and cats are playful, and another conjunction. You see, if it rains, then I will not attend the game. If it rains, then that's a conditional statement. If you dance, then I will play. If you do this, that those are conditional statements, and they follow just one arrow. Then we have biconditional statements like if and only if. So when you have a not, it means it's a negation. All right. And then we give example Montserrat. Here we talked about the baby is crying. Let it be represented. If you can't see my screen, log out and log in back. It could be your network. You just log out, then you click the link again and join back. Okay. Can you see the screen now? All right. So anytime you can't see the screen, it could be the network. All right. So those are issues of the network. You just need to log out and then you log in back. All right. So the baby is crying. That is P. Okay. Let it be represented by P. The birds are singing. Let it be represented by Q. And the dog is barking. Let it be represented by R. Now, we have the dog is not barking. Remember that our negation was what? This is the sign of our not. It's called a negation, right? That's the sign. Now, the dog is not barking is going to be what? Negation R. That's going to be negation R. We put in that sign. You see that? And then we have the baby is crying and the birds are singing. The baby is crying represented by P and the birds are singing. And is a conjunction. And uses this sign. This is the conjunction. Okay, so the baby is crying and the birds are singing. So P conjunction Q because Q is representing the birds are singing. That's what Gift was explaining for us. The dog in her other statement. Don't worry, we'll check the next proposition. I just want you to catch up. The dog is barking. Dog is barking is R, or the birds are singing. That's R disjunction Q. That's R disjunction Q. Okay. The dog is barking or the birds are singing. That's our disjunction Q. Don't worry, Montserrat. I have this class recorded, so I'll try my best to post it and give you guys the link so you can watch it again, just in case you're having network issues. And then, if the dog is barking and the birds are not singing, then the baby is crying. That is the dog is barking, R, and the birds are not singing. And is a conjunction sign, not singing negation Q. Then the baby is crying. So anytime we hear not, just remember to put in the negation, okay? Because I'm saying it this way because it's going to go, we're going to do other things, and the logical reasoning is going to, move further. Don't worry, you're going to clear logical reasoning, and you will understand the concept of this logical reasoning quickly. And okay, so the dog is barking, and the birds are not singing. The dog is barking is R, and conjunction. The birds are not singing, negation Q. Then the baby is crying, conditional statement P. The other one says, the fourth proposition says the baby cries if and only if the dog barks. So P is biconditional to R. The baby cries, that's P, if and only if the dog barks, and that's R. That's a biconditional statement. So take note of these connectives, because these are the things that you need in order to know how to interpret your statements, your various statements. You're going to need all those things. The not, which is the negation, the and, which is the conjunction, or, which is the disjunction, if, then, which is the conditional, if and only if, which is the biconditional. Any questions?
No questions.
No questions. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Montserrat, do you have any questions?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So this is the other statement that I gave to Gift, and it is let S and T stand for. S is standing for Sally is smart, and T is standing for Tom is tall. And then these are the other propositions. Sally is not smart, Sally is smart, and Tom is tall. If Tom is tall and Sally is smart, then Tom is tall. You see that? So she was able to interpret these questions, these statements or propositions. Sally is not smart is going to be a negation S. Sally is smart and Tom is tall. That is S conjunction T because of the and there. If Tom is tall and Sally is smart, Tom is tall is T and conjunction S. Then Tom is tall. Conditional statement. We put our one arrow T. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some statements, and I'll give you a proposition, and then I'll give you the connectives. I want you to interpret these. Okay, so let me just move to the side of the board. Let's do it this way. Okay, so um, if say if PQR stands for P, um, say stands for, let's see, P represents birds fly, P represents birds fly, Q represents the sky is blue.
I can't see the board.
You can't see my board.
I where you're writing now. Okay, I can see now.
Should I zoom it in? And then R is
Uh, yep.
the grass is green. All right, so these are the statements that we're going to be using. We have P, Q, and R, and let the propositions be giving us this. So I'm going to write in some connectives. I want you to interpret those connectives. All right, so the first one I'm going to write is so on your own you interpret. Mm, wait to calm down. Let me finish you. P negation Q, SP conditional Q, P disjunction Q. You're gonna interpret this in sentences. Negation. Let me see. Negation P in disjunction Q, P conjunction Q, conjunction R, and P negation negation Q negation R. Negation P. So you guys are going to tell me these sentences. Disjunction negation Q and P R, and last statement P biconditional Q. All right, so we have how many statements there? We have nine. We have nine connectives there. So you're going to interpret these connectives for me. So you tell me what the statement is. 1 second. Azak, the air conditioner, did you turn it off? Please, guys, just 1 second, please. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why this place hot like this? All right, so let's interpret. Sorry, I had to turn on the air conditioners because this heat is unbearable. What? The air conditioners are on and yet 1 hour. Wow, Jesus. Okay, yes, let's interpret what we have.
I thought and you write it down and then so
Or you want to write it down first?
yes, like my whole day, I will answer you that story.
Okay, okay. Montserrat, are you going to do that as well?
Yes.
Ah, all right. So you just tell me when you're done writing so we can analyze
Okay.
it.
Or should we type it and send? Should we type it and send? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Anyhow you want to.
I said, should we type it and send? Send it here.
Yeah, you can send it here. Yeah.
All right.
Uh, what's up? How far?
Okay, one, two, three, four, five. Okay. It's what you meant to for me.
Okay. Okay.
Activities and different. Oh,
It's quite easy, right? Yes, I know, right?
not,
Ah, it is now. You interpret.
not.
Okay, Montserrat, what about you?
Almost done. Almost done.
Okay,
I'm true. I'm true.
all right. Let's hold on for Montserrat so we can interpret this all together. And after we do this, we'll move into truth values and truth tables. One of the most important tables that you need to know in logical reasoning. And then we'll take some examples, constructing these tables, and we're good to go. Logical reasoning done. I think just like that.
So that's all about logical reasoning.
Yeah, once we finish this, I tell you the truth tables. We move into constructing of truth tables, and we do some examples. You know everything under logical reasoning. You have no problem. Okay, so Montserrat is true. And all right, so our first statement, let's check it out. So the first one is negation P, which is birds do not fly. So if you got that, that is correct, Montserrat, well done. Um, the second one is birds fly and the sky is blue. So birds fly and the
Yes,
sky is blue. So if you got that, well
blue.
done. Then the third one is birds fly or the sky is blue.
The sky is blue.
Yeah.
Yes.
The fourth statement is birds do not fly or the sky is blue.
Or the sky is blue.
Hmm. The fifth statement is birds fly and the sky is blue and the grass is green.
Blue. And the grass is green.
Yes.
Yes.
The sixth statement
Birds
is,
fly.
yeah, birds fly
Birds
and the
fly.
sky is not blue
And
and
not.
the grass is not green.
Which one is that?
That's the sixth statement here.
Oh,
Yes,
28, 6.
that's the sixth statement.
Birds flies.
Hmm. Then the seventh statement. Again,
And not.
were you talking about the
The
sixth
seventh
or
one.
okay, the seventh? Birds do not fly.
The sixth one. The sixth one.
Okay, the sixth one. Birds fly and the sky is not blue and the grass is not green.
Okay.
Do you get that?
Yep.
All right.
The
And
seventh one.
the seventh statement is birds do not fly
Birds
or
fly.
no, birds do not fly or the sky is not blue.
Is that it? No, you
Okay.
have the negation first before the letter P.
Yes, negation P is
Okay.
birds do not fly, and negation Q is the sky
Okay, yeah,
is
yeah,
not
yeah.
blue. So birds do not fly,
Okay.
or the sky is not blue.
Okay.
Okay. The eighth statement is if, this is where you might get it wrong. When you see that conditional arrow, if is always involved. If birds fly and the sky is blue, then the grass is green, or the grass will be green. If birds fly,
Look at the way I put, see
okay,
how I put my word. I know I didn't get it. Best flies and the sky is blue. If implies that the grass is green.
so if you put it like that, where would the then stay? Remember that the if works with then, if then. That's
Yeah,
for the
that's
one arrow.
if implies. That means the implies also represents them.
Yeah,
That's the conditional.
yeah, the conditional. So your statement didn't have then. Same
Yeah.
with you, Montserrat. Your statement didn't have then. You're meant to start the statement with if
Mine was
birds fly
implied.
and the sky is blue, then the grass is green.
Okay, oh,
Mistake. It was a mistake.
Yeah. So if birds
so the
fly,
last one.
okay, so the last one is if birds fly. Okay, the last one is birds fly if and only if the sky is blue.
Hi, no, yes,
Yes,
I get
if
it.
and only if the sky is blue. All right, so that's good. Great work. So you see, you're understanding, you're getting the hang of this thing quite easy like that. All right, so I want you to help me out with this statement. Mm, how are you going to interpret this statement? Let's say the sky is blue and the grass is green. I feel like you know all these things already, so
Wait,
let me
wait.
write it down.
The sky is blue.
hmm Uh,
The sky is blue and what?
the sky is blue and the grass is green.
Yeah. Oh, blue
Birds
and
fly or the sky is blue.
hmm?
Birds fly or the sky is blue. Mm, birds do not fly and the sky is not blue. And the last one is if the grass is green, if the grass is green and the sky is not blue, then the birds do not fly. So let's interpret this with our connectives. How are we going to interpret this with connectives?
Okay. And the Q We
Okay,
have the
Q.
Q
Mm-hmm.
conjunction R for the
Q
first one.
conjunction R.
Conjunction R.
Okay. So there's meant to be a T
Is that
here.
correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. So the next one is P.
P.
What is that? What is that? R. Or
I
Disjunction.
think disjunction, yeah.
okay. Goes
Disjunction. Which one is sorry? Q. Q.
Q.
Disjunction Q. Okay. The other one.
The next one is yeah. P.
Negation.
No, wait. Oh,
I can't see your
it
screen.
says bed. What's the next one? Bed does. Bed do not.
Yeah, bird do not fly.
Negation P.
Negation P.
Negation P. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Conjunction.
Conjunction Q.
Ne-
Negation Q. Negation. Yes,
ne-
negation.
negation
It's not
Q.
is conjunction Q. Is it negation Q?
Yeah. And
Bed
this
do
Yes.
not fly.
and the sky
Okay, it's
is
not.
not
Wait,
blue.
wait, yes.
Yeah.
Not. Yes. Okay, so
What about this?
just like
Um,
um,
R.
Mm-hmm.
Conjunction.
conjunction negation
Negation Q.
negation Q.
Q.
Wait, oh, if the grasses is green and the
Then
sky
okay.
is not
That
blue,
what's
then
that?
that means conjunct.
If then.
Wait,
If
let's
then. If then.
That's
that's
conditional.
condition.
One R.
Yeah,
Yes,
conditional, sorry.
conditional. Yes.
Conditional negation P.
Conditional negation P. Okay, so where were we? The last statement or the last phase, which is negation P. I guess that's where we are. That's negation P. So if the grass is green and the sky is blue and the sky is not blue, then the birds do not fly. So we actually understand all these statements. You can share the link with Montserrat. We actually understand all these statements. And let's move ahead. So we'll be moving to truth values. That's what we're moving to. Do I wait for the others to join or do we just continue? Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you. Probably your microphone. You can log out, log in back. Okay, yes. Can you speak now?
Yes, I can
Okay,
hear
yeah,
you.
I can hear you now. All right, so we'll be moving to truth tables. Do we wait for her or we can just go forward?
I I don't know about my listen. I don't know how to send the link to her. I don't have a number.
How did she join?
I gave you this well,
From the group? You sent it to a group?
I no 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 I didn't send it to you. No. Hold on, let me
Sorry.
can we continue?
Okay, you can just send the recorded version later. All right, so yes, let's deal with truth tables. Let's deal with truth tables. So this is truth tables. All right. So what we're going to learn here is we're going to learn the table. We're going to learn the table for every connectives. We'll learn the table for every connective. We understand. We'll learn the table for every connectives. We understand that, for example, let's say we have P in a truth table, and this other side is negation P. So it means that anything that is true under P in negation P, what's it gonna mean? It's gonna be false. And anything that is false under P in negation P is going to be true. That's the only table that exists under the negation. We're going to use negation. This is negation table.
Sorry, I don't. Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, I mean, if P were to be a statement, for instance, let's say the statement is gift is a lady, and I have that to be true. Any statement I have to be true. Gift is not a lady. Whatever is true under P, under the negation, P is going to be the opposite, false. For instance, birds can sing. That is true. You know, negation P is going to be birds cannot sing. So you're trying to tell me that birds can sing or birds cannot sing, which is false. So whatever is positive under the first proposition will be whatever is true under the first proposition will be false in the negation of that proposition. So if I have false under this proposition here, it means that the negation is going to be the opposite of what this proposition is. If the statement of P is false, the negation is like opposite, right? So the opposite of false is going to be true. If the statement of P is true, negation means the opposite of it. So the opposite of false, of true is what is false. So it happens likewise. You already know about negation. You know about when they tell you negation or negation P or the likes like that. P, negation P, Q, negation Q. So we have truth statements and negation is actually like the opposite, right? So anything that is true under that statement, the negation of that statement is going to be the opposite of truth or the opposite of false. Negation is like opposing the statement. Birds can sing. Negation of it is birds cannot sing.
Yes.
So whatever is under that statement, negation is the opposite of that statement. That's the meaning.
And that's true.
Okay. So that's the negation table. Then we move to um, the next one we're going to deal with is the conjunction table. The conjunction table. Now the conjunction is and. The word and is defined to have the same meaning in logic as in common usage. So the proposition of if some things are true or some things are false, and in other cases, welcome Montserrat. So Montserrat, we're dealing with truth tables now. We've concluded the last one that you guys did. Yes, you guys were correct in this. So we moved over to truth tables. So the first table we talked about is the negation table. And the negation table is for every statement that is under our proposition. The negation of that statement is the opposite of the truth or the false. So if I have birds can sing as P, negation P is going to be birds do not sing. So whatever is true under P, negation is going to be the opposite of what is true. And whatever is false under P, negation is going to be the opposite of what is false. So my negation table is true, false, false, true. True, false, false, true. That's my negation table. Do you get that? Or
Yes.
okay, right? So now for the conjunction, Montserrat, you get that? So now for the conjunction, let's say, okay, let's say we have a conjunction. We have a statement and another statement in conjunction. So for conjunction, it's going to involve two statements. We have P and we have Q. Then we have P conjunction Q. Then we have P conjunction Q. So um, let me just put this like this. So we have P conjunction Q. So for my first statement, let me say I have two. Um, let me say I have two statements. 2 raised to power 2 or 2 raised to power 2 and 4. All right, let me say I have that. Let's say 2 raised to power 2 here is our P and 4 is our Q. So any statement in conjunction, you have two statements in conjunction. Do we understand? So let's listen to the truth tables because you're really going to need the truth tables to understand. Our first negation table is, you know what negations are. That's quite easy. But when it comes to the conjunction, disjunction, conditional, and biconditional statements, mm, they're quite technical. Okay, so now we have two statements in our we have two statements in our conjunction that must be present. If the two statements are true to themselves, meaning that these statements are correct to themselves, the conjunction of both statements saying P and Q or P conjunction Q, whatever the statements may be, as long as they are true. For instance, every citizen in Nigeria, or you are you are born in Nigeria and you are from Nigeria. So let one be P and let one be Q. You are born in Nigeria, probably that is true, okay? And you are from Nigeria. That is another true statement. Second. That is another true statement. And you're from Nigeria, it's another true statement. So you're born in you're born in um you're born in Nigeria and you're from Nigeria. So each statements that are true, true and true, when you join them together, this and this, whatever it is true in two statements, the conjunction table states that they are true. They represent true statements. So P conjunction Q is going to be true as long as both statements are true to themselves. We have two statements that are true to themselves. Okay? This is how conjunction works. It's either both of us are on the same page or we're not on the same page. It's either the both statements are on the same page or they are not on the same page at all. That's how conditional statements, that's how they actually work. It's either they're on the same page or they're not on the same page at all. That's actually how they work. So,
Okay. Sorry. Can I say something?
mhm,
Okay, now, for example, now let me use the table we have here now. Like you said now, so what if um under this P there is F there, that's the first, the F, and the second one is T. Does it mean that the PQ now is gonna be F?
Exactly. That is correct. Because they're not on the same page. And
Okay.
true false is going to be also F because they're not on the same page. But if they both have false false, if the conditional the conjunctions are both false false, the statements, since they're on the same page, P conjunction Q will be true. Sorry, false false rather. They are both false false, and no one is having to be on the same page at all. Rather, the P conjunction Q is going to be false because they are still not on the same page. They're not true to each other. They're still not on the same page. So in conjunction statements, there's only one true statement. Only one. That's when both of them are on the same page. If both statements are not on the same page, they will never go hand in hand, meaning that all their statements are false. In conjunction statements, we have only one truth, and that is truth and truth. When two statements are true to each other, then we can say this statement and this statement, but the rest are false.
Okay.
Okay, we got that? All right. So
Yeah.
let's move over to disjunction statements. Mm, Now for the disjunction. Disjunction is almost quite similar, but not. Let's say we have, remember disjunction is also for having P, let's say we have Q, then P disjunction Q, right? So I'm just going to just put this here, put this here. All right. So now in disjunction statements, it is or. So it doesn't matter if they are both on the same page for disjunction statements. Or is disjunction statements. Or. So or can this or this. You understand? This or this. It doesn't matter if they're on the same page. As long as one agrees or one is true, disjunction statement is okay. It's either this or this. One will work. As long as one will work. So if my statement here is true and this is true, it actually doesn't matter if they're on the same page, but as long as one is working, that is true. If my statement here is true and this is false, it doesn't matter if they're on the same page, right? As long as one is working, that is also true. If my statement here is false and this is true, you see, there is still one that is true, so this is true. But if my statement is false, my statement is false and this is false. Now, not even one of them here is on the same page. So this is false. In disjunction statements, they are all true and one false. False statement. In condition, in conjunction, rather, sorry, excuse me, in conjunction statements, there's only one truth and all false. They must be true to each other in conjunction. In disjunction, just one has to be true to itself. Only one, at least one should be involved. One should be true. That's the disjunction statement. One should at least be true. So only one false in disjunction statement. Question on this.
Say?
Any questions?
So that concerning this, sorry. So what if okay, that means what you are trying to say is that if the P stands for F, which is force, and the Q stands for force, that means the PQ is true.
If it's false, false, the P disjunction Q is false. The reason is in
I mean,
disjunction.
if it's true and it's false,
Okay, yes, of course,
that means it's true.
it's true. One just has to agree. One has to agree with the statement. One has to be true in the statement. That's disjunction. Only it just needs one truth to make the statement true because it's or. It's either this or this. So one should just be true. Either they are both true or at least one should be true in the statement to make it true.
Okay.
Montserrat, are you getting it?
Yes, yes, I'm good.
Okay. And then we have what we call the the next table is going to be our conditional. Let me type that here. Okay. Or conditional. Okay, so that's going to be our conditional statement. So now for conditional statements, you know that conditional is always if this happens, then this happens, then we can, then we can. So for the then, okay, for the then, it means that whatever you're going to be saying for that then, in conditional statement, you say, if it rains, then I will not be attending the meeting. So that means that then have to always be positive or it has to always be true to itself. Do you understand? We cannot contradict that statement because there is a condition on it. For instance, if if he sends the money, then you go for the event or you go for the seminar, meaning that there's a condition. You need the money in order for you to go for the seminar. You need the money for you to make up that appointment. You won't fly. You will get into transportation and all that. So there is a condition on that statement. But we cannot be saying that you getting to the event will not be false, will be false. There was an agreement. If I send the money, you go to the seminar. That's conditional statement. So it's now dependent on me. Do you understand? If I send it or not. So if I don't send the money, you won't be going to that um, seminar, which means that um, if I don't send the money, you won't be going to that seminar, which means the conditional statement is still correct because I didn't send the money, so you did not go. False, false, meaning that the conditional statement is correct. True. If I send the money and you went to the seminar, true, true, that means the conditional statement is true because it's dependent on me, right? Now, what if I sent the money and you did not go to the seminar? Now we have a false. That means I sent the money, which is true. If I send the money true, then you're meant to be at the seminar, but you didn't go to the seminar. That is false. Then my conditional statement, I have a false there. That is a contradiction. And this is where we get into the law, the court of law, and I will sue the person. You know how have you guys gotten the latest gist of guys when they tell ladies that they'll send them money and the lady does not. The first one happened, was it March? Was it March or February? That the guy sued the lady of 150K. He sent her 3K for transport in a lorry. Was it 3K or thereabout? Yeah, 3K I think, and she didn't go. She failed the conditional aspect, and actually is in law. She failed the conditional aspect. If he sent the money, we have an agreement. They had an agreement. He sent the money, but she did not go. So it was a true false, and in the conditional output, that is a false statement. And because of that, he sued her, and she had to pay 150. Then the other one happened 2 months ago where the lady paid, was it 500,000, and also paid for damages. Like, men no dey gree again. They take am go court. Gege university people. So that is actually conditional statement. If I do this, then you do this. But if the other party is false, the conditional statement is false. So that means in conditional table, we have only one false. So let me put it this way. We have a P, right? And then we have a Q. And then we have P. If P happens, then Q happens. That means everything is dependent on P. So if P doesn't happen, then Q cannot occur. Do you get? If P doesn't happen, then Q cannot occur. So if he sent it and she went, our conditional statement is true. If he sent the money and she went for the seminar or she went to his house or whatever, the conditional statement is true. If he sent it, then she's meant to go, right? If he sent the money, then she's meant to go. And she did not go. The conditional statement is false. Now here we go enter court. Now, if he does not send it or he doesn't send the money, that's a conditional statement. It's bent on him. Okay, it's a conditional statement. But she was still able to make it there. Probably he's going to settle her later. The statement is still true. She put him on a condition, but she was still able to make it. The then statement is still true. If the then, as long as the then is in conditional statement, please take note. As long as the then or the other party, that's the second statement, is positive, don't worry. All conditional statements will be positive. But if both parties are false, false, so he did not send the money and she did not go at all, the conditional statement is true because she was dependent on him, and because he didn't fulfill his part, she was not able to attend. So it is still a true conditional statement. It's still right. The only one that is false there is if the first statement is true and the second statement is false, the then part is false. That's where all hell will break loose. So in conditional table, we have only one false where there is true and false. That is our one false. Question. Question, 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 question. Any question?
No question. But to understand this conditional statement very well is that if the two parties, like if the two, the P and Q is negative, that's if it's false, false, that means the the um the
The-
other part is going to be false.
no, the other part is going to be true.
If it's false, false,
Yes,
there is no true in there. It's going to be true.
it's going to be true because if he does it, then she will. If this happens, then this will happen. What if this does not happen? That means this will not also happen. So they are both on the same page, which is true.
Like, wait, I'm confused. You said if, okay, let me use the illustration you use. If the guys that's supposed to send her the money did not send her the money and she couldn't make it, that means she didn't go there. Like, she didn't go to the place she wanted to go. That means it's false.
No, she didn't go there because the guy didn't send the money. So it is still a true statement for the conditional.
Uh,
Yes. Now, if the guy did not send the money and she was still able to go, there is every tendency that they will settle themselves. So that is still a true statement. As long as she was still able to go, it's still a true statement. But if the guy should send the money, because she's the one that put him under condition, right? So if the guy should send the money, if you send the money, then I will go. If the guy should send the money and she still does not go, that is false. That's the only thing in
Wait,
conditional statements.
if the guy sent the money
Mm-hmm.
and she did not go,
Mm-hmm.
that means it's false.
Yes, because the condition was if I send it, then you come. But the if
Okay.
happened, the then did not happen. Voila. That then is either that then happens, or if the then is false, then the if should also be false. But what will make that then false and the if is true? Voila, the if can be false and the then can still happen. That's the third part here. Okay, the if here is false,
Okay.
the then can still happen. It's still a true statement. It's still marked as true. Now, if the then does not happen, the then does not happen at all. So that means the person cannot move at all. That is still true. But if when the if happens and the then refuse to go, wahala dey, that's false.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only false in
Okay.
conditional.
Understood.
Okay, that's the only false in condition. There's only one false in conditional. Now let's go to um by conditional. Let's go to by conditional. I'll just type this here. By conditional. All right, so that's by conditional. All right, so yes, we have statements. We have our P, we have our Q, and then we have the biconditional. If and only if, right? That's what we have.
Yes.
Sorry. We have if and only if. All right. So now for the biconditional statement, it is said to be true when for biconditional statement, this is biconditional. So that means the both of them must affect each other. In the conditional statement, one party is only dependent. One party can still make it. That is the then. The then. We have only one false where does not the then does not make it, but the if happened. That is the only false. But in biconditional, true true, they both depend on each other. So true true is true. True false in Banu is false automatically because they are both depending on each other. False true also what? False. Two of them must be in accordance to each other. False false is true. Biconditional statement is straightforward
How is it true?
because they are in accordance to each other. They agree with each other. We are both false and false. So if and only if. So we are both false and false. Biconditional statement depend on one another. It's either they are both true or they are both false, which makes the statements true. So it means that if the both of them are true and true, they agree on one page, the statement is correct. If the both of them are false and false, they agree on one stage, it is biconditional and it is correct. But if both of them are not on the same page at all, the statements are incorrect. It's a false interpretation. Biconditional, they rely on one another. rely on one another. Question.
I don't have a question. No question.
Okay. Gifts. Any question?
No question.
Okay. I'm going to give you some questions now. But before that, I want to discuss something of what we mean by, I've explained it before, but it's what we call tautologies and contradictions. I think this should be the last part of the course before moving to other questions. Now, a proposition can be said to be logically true, all right, if it is true for every possible arrangement of truth values of various propositions of its component propositions. The proposition would be logically true, meaning that a logically true proposition, whatever you say here, another person says it here, meaning the same thing. The values you got on this aspect after you made a table for the statements from this person, and the values you got from this aspect after you made the statements from another person tallies together. You have a tautology, meaning that they are logically true propositions. They are coming from various angles, but they are logically true. And that's why in the court of
Sorry,
law,
can you come again?
okay, I said that wherever you get, whatever you get from the statements of one particular person or the statements of one particular body, and whatever you get from the statements of another particular body, okay, when there are truth tables, the truth tables you derive from both of them, when the truth tables um, are the same or they relate with one another, this then we have a tautology. That means you gather evidence from here and the evidence from here are the same. Or what a person is saying in Sokoto is the same thing what people are saying in River State. We have a tautology. They are logical propositions that are true. All right. So logically true propositions are called tautologies. So wherever the statements are, you can prove that it is true because by mathematics, you've been able to, this is where the court of law comes in. By mathematics, you've been able to gather evidence that no party can deny. That's why lawyers study logical reasoning. So you have a tautology. It is accepted and cannot be contradicted. Now, for the contradiction, is when whatever this person is saying here is different from what this other person is saying here. So when you bring the truth table from this place and you bring the truth table from the other place and you bring it together, it does not rhyme. It's not showing the same results. You have a contradiction. Okay, that itself is a contradiction. So so anything that is equivalent to proposition, mhm, let me see.
Yes.
No, I'm still here with you.
Sorry, please, can you explain this for me? I want to understand.
The tautologies and contradiction.
Yes, like wait, like when the negation of a contradiction is a tautology, while the negation of tautology is a contradiction, what does it mean?
Okay. So what that means, I'm coming. Let me type this. Contradictions. All right. So what that means is now I told you that tautologies are um, logically true propositions. Okay, they are called tautologies. You're getting it from various aspects. So the opposite of tautology is going to be a contradiction. The negation of a tautology or of a statement that you've gotten is a contradiction, and the negation of a contradiction is going to be a tautology. Remember when we're dealing with negation, we said that the negation of true is false and the negation of false is true. Uh, Check this. When we dealt with our first table, which is the negation, whatever thing that was under the statement P, if it is true, the negation of that is going to be the opposite false. And whatever thing that is under the statement of our P false, the negation of that is going to be the opposite true. So for tautologies, I said tautologies are logically true propositions. So whatever thing you hear in Sokoto, you bring out the truth tables in Sokoto and you bring out the truth tables in Nasarawa, or you bring out the truth tables in Kogi or Ilorin, you bring it out and you match it together and you're getting the same results. That's a tautology. They are logically true propositions wherever you go. For instance, let's say that the biconditional statements in Lagos and the biconditional statements you got in Zaria were tallying together. They were the same tautology. Now, for that statement, that's a tautology. Now, when the biconditional statement you got in Lagos and the biconditional statement you got in Zaria, when you bring it out together and you see that they're not the same, one is saying another thing, another story no clear, that's a contradiction. They are contradicting themselves. So you can also perform a contradiction. For instance, you say this thing today and then you say another thing tomorrow. Okay? You say this thing today, you say another thing tomorrow. You that you said this one, you're not saying uh what you said. You then contradict yourself in that statement by proposing another thing entirely from that same statement. You've contradicted yourself because you've opposed yourself of what you've said. Your true statements, you are now making your true statement that you said yesterday false the next day. Baba, you just contradicted yourself. But you said when, for instance, now somebody will make a statement that um, the colonial masters did a good thing to us, and then the next day the person says that these colonial masters really enslaved us and brutally, and use brutal force. There was brutality on us and all that. But bro, you said that they were good yesterday. Now you're saying that they are bad. That that's a contradiction. You just contradicted yourself. Your statements have contradicted. So lawyers, they take note of all this. Your words. And that's why they always tell you any word you use now will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to remain silent and all that. Because your words can be used against you. So contradiction and tautology. Hey, I just finished explaining it too. Do you understand it? Okay. I was saying that
I
I was saying that contradiction. When it comes to contradiction, it's 4:03. It's time for my STEM club. Okay, so when it comes to contradiction, what happens is that maybe you said something today. You said that colonial masters were good to us, and the next day you say colonial masters really brutalized us and they sold us into slavery. You've contradicted yourself because your first statement was colonial masters are good. Now, your second statement, what it means the next day is that colonial masters are bad. That's a contradiction. Now,
okay.
if you had said colonial masters brought almost helped us with development and other things. Now it rhymes with what you said yesterday. So we've brought out the truth table of what you said yesterday and the truth table of what you said today, bringing it together, and we can see that they are on the same page. They rhyme. Tautology. They are logically true propositions.
Okay. I understand.
Okay, so that's why they said that the negation of a tautology is a contradiction, and the negation of a contradiction is a tautology because it's just like the opposite.
Tautology. Okay.
All right, so yes, yes, and yes. Um, so that's tautologies and contradictions. Okay, so let me see. I want you to construct the truth tables for the following. You can do it later because right now I have my STEM club meetings. So you're going to construct the truth tables for this. We have a P. This one you need to really relax, sit down and think about it.
Is it like assignment?
Yes, yes. It's like take home assignment, yes.
Are we to submit it in our next class?
Well, it depends. Okay, so all right, so if you can draw the statements of this, and there are other statements, let me see. Um, this one I can give to you to show that they are equivalent. Show that uh, show that I'm going to write it there is equivalent to uh, it's my record. Oh. This record is already making the system to hang. Okay, so this is what this is the question. Show that negation P disjunction Q.
Show that.
Yeah, negation P disjunction Q is equivalent to P conditional Q. So don't worry, go and rack and rack and rack. You get go and rack and rack and rack because okay, so it's already time for my. If you cannot see the other questions, you can just let me know.
I'm seeing.
Sorry, please, I can't see the question that is up.
Okay.
Or
So for the question upward to draw the truth tables for this one, and this one.
Okay, so you should draw the tables.
Yeah, the truth tables
Which one?
for the first,
Okay.
second, and third here. For the first, second, and third. So we have to draw the truth tables for those three statements. And then for the fourth one, and the other question is show that negation P disjunction Q is equivalent to P conditional Q. If you can show that and they are equivalent, then you have a tautology. We have a tautology. All right, so that'll be that. So yes, in if you've taken the questions down, you're free to exit the meeting. I'll see you guys, or you can just text me personally. So I hope we've been able to understand logical reasoning and what we were able to do today. Negations, the signs, um, the connectives, the interpretations of the mathematical models, the truth tables. We understand all those things. So yeah, okay. All right, so you're free to move. All right, STEM club members, welcome, welcome. You can see I was actually in class, so sorry you guys were not able to join in earlier. PM, what's up?
Mm,
Hi.
So for the I so I see two of us that is joining now. It's 12.
No, no, no,
And
no, no.
so for the
Yeah, for the what?
so are you asking us a question?
Am I what with the question?
Are you asking us a question?
No, 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 I wasn't asking a question. One second. Let me see. It's- okay. So those were actually university students.